Hello everyone, now let us start your new chapter of science, that is how do organism reproduced. Chapter is very interesting, but it is too much in detail. Detailed study is there. You have to recall your 9th standard also. That I help you. Don't worry about it. See, in your textbook page number 127, how do organisms reproduce? The basic question is that what is the reason why do organisms reproduce? And the basic answer is what? Basic answer is not to keep themselves alive. Remember this thing. Reproduction is not necessary for a single person, single animal. Okay? It is not useful for liveness. It is not useful to keep animal or a plant alive. It is useful to carry out their generation. It is useful to make individuals similar to parent. This is the reason why animal reproduces or plant reproduces. Okay, this is the sorry, this is the basic answer. Is that clear? The common question is why do organisms reproduce? So reproduction is not necessary for the liveliness. Reproduction is not necessary for the single parent, whether it is animal or plant, but it is necessary to carry out their generation. It is necessary to keep themselves, means type of cells, same type of cells or same type of animals or plants kept on the earth. That's why reproduction is necessary. The first and very interesting question is given in your textbook, that do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Exact copy means Xerox copy. Do it is possible? Do organisms produce exact copies of themselves? Answer is in very detail. See, recall your 9th standard. Try to recall the 9th standard, okay? See, you have learned that in the cell there is a nucleus. In the nucleus, DNA is there. Nucleolide and DNA is there. What do you mean by DNA? DNA stands for what? Deoxyribonucleic acid. A and D. Okay, DNA. In the cell, in the nucleus, DNA are present. Each and every organism has a different number of DNA. Each and every organism has different number of DNA. As for example, human being have 23 pairs of DNA. 23 pair, right? Whereas in potato, 32 pairs of DNA are there. In plant also DNA is there, in animal also DNA is there. Means each and every organism has different number of DNA. Now, what is the function of DNA? Another question. What is DNA? If it is a nucleic acid, then you easily say that it is made up of nitrogen. Okay? If it is made up of nitrogen, then the main function of DNA is to produce proteins. Right? Main function of DNA is to produce proteins. If different proteins are produced, then our body or any organism bodies are created. Means each and every organism's body depends on this protein, right? But remember one thing, that if there is a slight mutation in the protein, what do you mean by mutation? Mutation means change which is not favorable. Whatever change occur in our body, but it is not favorable to our body, then it is called mutation. Is it clear? So if there is a single mutation in the protein, then animals or organism would not survive. It is not possible. And that's why whatever protein made by this DNA, these proteins, it should be favorable to our body. Okay, so that the particular chemicals and hormones are produced which is necessary for our life. Okay, so production of particular hormones, production of necessary hormones, necessary enzymes at a necessary time, it should be done because of this. And that's why we said that DNA is the important thing in our life. Now see, if DNA is important, recall 9th standard. The structure of DNA that you have not learned in 9th standard, we will learn in next chapter, DNA. But here I slightly draw this DNA. Take 2 pens, okay, and with the help of this, you can draw the helical structure of DNA, right? Spiral structure of DNA. Now in each this spiral, suppose this is one loop, another loop, another loop, another loop. So in each loop there are nitrogenous bond. Maybe it is of different type. Guanine and cytokinin, uracil and cytokinin, adenine and guanine. Not in your course, don't worry about all this name. Here hydrogen bond is there, H bond it is called. In each and every bond, right, each and every bond shows the different characters of our life of organism, in short. So uracil and cytokinin, guanine and cytokinin, guanine and adenine, if they attach with loose hydrogen bond, then your characteristics are different. If they bondly tighted, then also your characteristics are different. Sometimes what happens after the birth of baby, after certain age, this bonds become weak. If this bond become weak, then it causes what? Disease. And the person may suffer from diabetes or joint pain or cancer, maybe etc. Means in short, what I mean to say, your body, biochemical reaction of your body, biochemical reaction of organism's body, whether it is plant or animal, all these reactions are printed on this DNA, right? So the question here is what? DNA of male and female exactly copies with each other? Yes or no? Maybe yes, maybe no. Why? If it is about plant, okay, then in the plant 2 type of crossovers are there. One is self-pollination and second is cross-pollination. For self-pollination, the same pollen grain falls on the same flower and pistil and it moves towards the ovary and zygote is formed, means fertilization takes place. In cross-fertilization, male and females are different. They are called bisexual. Okay, they are not called unisexual. They are bisexual, and that's why pollen grain passes from one flower to another flower, and then fertilization takes place. Now here, while zygote is formed, after fertilization, when zygote is formed, then 2 type of process are going on. which is called mitosis and meiosis. This is the cell division types. Mitosis occur after the birth of baby, but during the formation of baby, whatever cell division occur, which is known as meiosis. Okay, so meiosis start. This is not. This is only the I recall it to clear your concept. Meiosis start. What is this meiosis? Meiosis is what? Formation of baby. Exactly what happened? Male chromosomes contain DNA. So the second function of DNA is what? Produce protein, first one, and second, its chromosome gives different type of or different biochemical reactions. It produces different enzymes. And hormones, and because of that growth starts. Means our growth, our body structure totally depend on DNA. Now what is this meiosis? Human beings have 23 pairs of chromosomes. 23 pairs of chromosomes. Each pair shows the different function. Now, suppose this is the cell, nucleus divided into two different centrioles. This is called centrioles, center, and it's a sub-center that is called centrioles. Here father's chromosome, 23 pairs of chromosomes set, and mother's 23 pairs of chromosome also sets. Shape of chromosome is like this. Okay? These petals are known as chromatin. Center is known as centromere. In the groove of this chromatin, DNA is present. Right? Now, this centromere means center of the chromosome is connected with this centriole with this small rays. These rays are known as astral rays. Don't worry, all these things are not in your course. This is for you, for your concept, for your knowledge only. Okay, so this is the astral rays. This is called centriole, and this is the cell. Now meiosis start. See, slowly, gradually, what happened? This 23. Suppose that this is 23 pairs. Okay, don't try to count it. This is a sphere-like cell. All these 23 pairs of chromosomes start coming with nearer to nearer, coming towards each other. When that totally comes with each other, then what happens? They couple up with each other. Means father chromosome first number pair of chromosome and mother's first number pair of chromosome couple up with each other. When they couple up with each other, what happens? They exchange the characteristic. When they exchange the characteristic, then new characteristic are formed, new DNA is formed. Here the important thing is what? Our question, right? Exact copies of DNA is possible or not. It depends on this meiosis process. It is not in our hand, right? It happens naturally. So exact copies is possible, but it is only the exceptional case in the world. twins are possible, but twins is the different thing. Don't think about twins, okay? That we will discuss later. Now here, when they comes closer to each other, after that they call up with each other. When they call up with each other, then they exchange the characteristic, means father and mother DNA exchange their characteristic and new characteristic DNA is formed, right? Afterwards, they move away from each other. Suppose this is the North Pole, this is the South Pole, then they move towards the pole. Slowly, gradually, what happens? It starts breaking like this. Centrioles and all mix up characteristic chromosomes are present here, come up here, right? This strength of this astral rays now going to be weakened, and slowly, gradually, this cytoplasm comes nearer and nearer, and this layer, which we call what? It is not called cell wall, don't worry about it. It is called plasma membrane. So this membrane comes closer to the closer, and when touch with each other, then this astral rays break and two individual cells are produced. So in this way, meiosis starts. When meiosis starts, 23 pairs of chromosome from father and 23 pairs of chromosome from mother, total 46 pairs of chromosomes are formed. But here they become half. If they become half, then proper copies can be done. Okay, and same individuals is produced. That means we said that dogs gives birth to only puppies. It never give birth to any other, right? Why? Because here 23 pair of chromosomes and 23 pair, though remember their characteristics is now different, but number of pair or number of chromosomes remains same. This is the important thing. If number of chromosomes remain same in one individual cell, then same copies are formed. It is said just like in your textbook. It is said just like this, that same copy. Same copy doesn't mean Xerox copy, right? It doesn't mean twins. Is it that clear? So number of chromosomes remain same, and so it divide into two equal part of number of chromosomes, and means human being gives birth to child, right? Hen gives birth to chicken or chicks. So in this way, always number of chromosome retains in the individuals, retains in the progeny, right? And that's why we said that DNA copy is most important. Copying of DNA, here mixing of DNA, crossover of DNA, that is called copying of DNA. Okay, and so characteristic mix up with each other. This is the main thing of why we said that do organisms create exact copies of themselves? Okay. See on page number 127, in this do organism create the exact copies of themselves, the second para, a basic event in reproduction is the creation of a DNA copy. Cell use chemical reaction to build copies of their DNA, and this create two copies of DNA in a reproducing cell, and they will need to be separated from each other. However, now see, keeping one copy of DNA in the original cell and simply pushing the other one outside, it would not work. ऐसा कभी नहीं होता. किसी को बाहर फेंक दो और ओरिजिनल ही सेम रहे तो ये पॉसिबल नहीं होगा. Because the copy push out would not have any organized cellular structure for maintaining life process. So DNA copying is accompanied by the creation of an additional cellular apparatus, and then the DNA copy is separate, each with its own cellular apparatus. Effectively, cell divides to give rise to cells. This is the basic concept which is not given in your 9th standard. It is also not given in the 10th standard, only given a few lines. So keep in mind how this is possible. Now from this, the another important thing is what the importance of variation. What is the importance of variation? Why is variation necessary? Okay, or what is its importance? So variation means what? First question is, what is variation? Mother cell and father cell, when they cross over with each other, when they collab with each other, then I told you that they exchange their property. When they exchange their property, at that time variation starts. Okay, how? Because suppose the hair pattern of your father is straight hair, whereas hair pattern of your mother is curly. Now both different characteristics are there on the DNA. They cross over with each other, collab with each other, and so new generation start, means the progeny, means you, yourself. Your hair pattern may be exactly copies equal to your father cell, or exactly copies equal to your mother cell, or mixing of this. If it is mixing of this, then it is called variation. Is it clear? Now, what is the importance of variation? Why is variation necessary? Variation is necessary for life. Okay? It is necessary for the survival of life. It is necessary for the survival of life, or called survival of individuals. As for example, suppose your father has already taken vaccines, many vaccines. Your mother has also already had taken vaccines. And so what happened? This characteristic of vaccine, that they are prevented against any main diseases, not all diseases, but main diseases. If they are safe against all these diseases, then your immunity is also built up, right? It doesn't mean that you are also safe against blah 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 disease. You have to take the medicine, but your immunity is automatically built up, and it is good than any other person who had not taken any vaccine so far, right? So it is necessary for the survival of individuals, survival of life, survival against any diseases. Okay, now you can also say that variation is not beneficial. It is not beneficial for any individuals, but it is beneficial for generation. Variation is not beneficial to any individual, but it is beneficial to the generation. One after another generation, that means in the hereditary. It is useful for survival of species in any changeable environment. It is useful for any species for changing environment. This is very crucial, and you may experience this. As for example, suppose you are here in the India, and suppose you are going to Russia, okay, the coolest part of the earth, Siberia. Can you survive? Yes or no? Yes, you can, because you have brain. You use your brain and try to protect yourself against heavy cold, serious cold. Okay? We wear jacket or any other, many things are there. Same manner, if you are kept in Sahara desert where 55 degrees Celsius temperature is there, then also we can survive. Okay, we find out the way with our brain. Our body try to adapt the environment. The body try to adapt the surrounding Nikkei. What do you mean by Nikkei? The important word. Nikkei. Nikkei means ecosystem. Nikkei, that is equals to ecosystem. In your textbook, the Nikkei word is used widely. So our body try to adapt the characteristic of surrounding environment, that is surrounding Nikkei. And so it is also said that the Nikkei or environment or ecosystem where you live is important for your body design. See, think about Africans, their body design. Think about Chinese and Japanese, their body design. Think about Afghanistani, okay, their body design. Think about Mongolian, their body design. Think about European, right? All these body designs, not only human being, but elephant also, tiger also, many other creatures are also, many plants are also. Some plants can grow only in Kashmir or Himalayan region, which cannot grow in this region. Science helps this. Okay, it is possible nowadays, but naturally it is not possible. Right? But with the help of technique, with the help of scientific technique, we adapt all this way. So it is useful for any species for continuously changing environment. Variation is important. If your body is easily adapt with a surrounding environment or surrounding ecosystem, then it is said that your immune system is good. If you want to keep going, okay, if you want to make it better or than best, then you have to take some exercise or whatever other features, etc. This is the different thing. But the natural thing is what is the importance of variation? Is it okay? So if Nikkei is drastically changed, the best one example is given in your textbook, that suppose a colony of bacteria is there. We cannot see this, but colony of bacteria is there. They live happily because of the surrounding Nikkei or ecosystem is proper for that. Drastically, ecosystem change, temperature going high. Okay, if temperature becomes more than this favorable temperature, it crosses the limit of favorable temperature, then most of the bacteria would die, right? But some of the bacteria try to survive in this drastic, changeable or high temperature. If some bacteria survive, then they reproduce and give characteristic to their progeny, and again this progeny live in this high temperature. Once again they survive. In this way, generation to generation changes occur. That is called variation occur. So this variation is important. Is that clear? This is about variation. Now modes of reproduction used by single organism. Take a snap.